of you guys are joining us for the Women Visionary Leaders for 2020 and beyond. We have the most amazing young woman that is going to be able to share her testimonial, and we're just so excited. It's exactly 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, so we're going to go ahead and get started and allow her to just take as much time as she can to be able to bless every single one of you guys. I'm not even quite sure she even knows who I am, but I'm just so excited. It's an honor to be able to host and be able to do this with her. And I look up to this lady so much. And in general, you know, this young lady is someone that is very respected in our industry of business. And not only that, she's a godly woman, and she is amazing because one of the things that I've learned is that if you're going to learn something from someone, you want to make sure you get advice from people that are actually doing and living the life that you want. And from the outside, I know she's done so much, and it's taken a lot for her to get to where she's at. But she has, her business is going well. She's beautiful, and she just has all these kids, and she just pops them out and comes right back on and just does everything. She's like Superwoman, and she has an amazing family with her husband, and they're just so beautiful to watch and see that that's actually possible for many of us. So I get the honor to be able to bring her on. I believe I did see that she was on, so let me know, Mr. Clemens, if she is on. Just send me a quick little text. But I want to share this, have her share her story and start off from there. I don't want to say much because I don't want to take from her. But after that, when we're done, we're going to go ahead and have any Q&A sessions. If you guys have any questions. But basically, the Women Visionaries, it's to be able to empower, equip, and to encourage every single woman out there. And also there's men that are on this call because we want to be able to help you guys have a balanced leadership and spiritually. It has nothing to do with any kind of business or anything. We're just actually doing this from our heart. And it actually came from my personal mentor, Mr. Al Thomas. He's someone that has helped me be balanced in everything in life. So my way of paying forward is to, when he called me, he said, I want you to co-host this. I was like, okay, there was no questions asked. So I'm so nervous to be able to do this and share this with her. So without taking any of the time, Miss Chanelle, Burt, are you on?
Yes, I am. Can you hear and see me okay?
I can see you, but I believe there's a way that you can actually, Mr. Clemens, there's a way that she can touch it so we can see her big, right? Without the flyer, because we can see her very little.
Oh, yeah. I see that. The flyer is still in the middle.
Yes.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
There you go.
All right. So everybody should be able to see me. Can you see me okay now?
Yes.
All right, good. Well, I want to thank you so much. Mr. Al Thomas told me that you were going to be hosting tonight, and I do know who you are. You are a top executive in our company, and I want to thank you, Ms. Bernal, for just, you know, everything that you've been able to do in the company. A lot of times people see somebody like me because of a different position, but you have no idea how much you inspire people just by your everyday life, you know, the things that you've accomplished in our company and the industry as a woman. And this is just a phenomenal call that you guys have put together, and I'm excited to be on it. You know, we have started this women winning movement in our industry as a whole because we believe that in every single industry that you can be a part of, it is typically dominated by men, and that's okay. But you know, there's just a lot of different people that have a vision to help more women rise through the ranks of a company, have more options in their life. And I'm excited to be able to share with you guys just a little about me. I talked to Mr. Thomas about what this call was all about, and I'm normally talking to somebody about how to build the specific business that we are a part of, but he really told me to just, you know, give you me tonight on a Friday night. And for all of you guys that are joining on the call, thank you so much for jumping on. You know, it's a Friday evening. You could be anywhere doing anything, but you're taking the time to hear from, you know, what I feel like little old me, you know, Chanelle Burt, who hopefully, and I pray that I'll say one thing to one person that can absolutely not just change your business, but change every aspect of your life. And so before I get started, I always like to thank my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ before I do anything, because, growing up, and especially in the industry that we're in, a lot of times we can stray away from who is really in control of everything and feel like we're doing everything on our own. And, when you really realize whose you are, you understand that's why you are who you are. And I always want to do that because, I've grown up in this industry, and it's exciting to see who I am today, but more so I am excited about where I'm going, and it's only going to be because I'm able to help other people change their lives as well. And so just to tell you a little bit about me, I have an electrical engineering background. I used to design missiles for the military, and it's so crazy because I have nothing to do with that now. I'm from Baltimore, went to Morgan State University, and got a degree in electrical engineering. Worked at a big time company. You may have heard Lockheed Martin. I was designing missiles for the military, and that was pretty cool to me until I was introduced to an industry called direct selling, network marketing. And this, the journey that I've had over the last almost 13 years have really just shown me different possibilities. It's shown me a different mindset that I can have to really not just have options for myself, but to help create options for other people, especially women. And I'm so passionate about that today because, as a woman, I believe that a lot of times we try to choose between being a great wife, a great mom, a great career woman. But when you really have financial independence and time freedom, which I knew I wasn't going to be able to get from working for somebody else as an engineer, even though I loved what I was doing at the time, I knew that I would never become free. I didn't even know that it was possible to become free until a friend of mine thought enough of me to introduce me to a whole new world, per se, of financial independence and time freedom through network marketing or direct selling. And so I got involved in the industry, not knowing anything about running a business, not knowing anything about the industry itself. But I was just kind of hungry for a little bit more. And I know there's some of you on the call, you may love what you do, you may love your life, but you probably still have bigger dreams that you haven't started really, turning into a reality yet. You probably have a vision for your life that goes way beyond what you're doing right now, and knowing that you're capable of doing so much more. And so I just found a vehicle that will allow me, an everyday average person, to really just go for it and not have anything hold me back, because I was surrounded by people that were thinking bigger than me, that were doing better than me, that were, you know, different and better than me in every area, not just financially, not just business wise, but even more spiritually mature, as I would say, just different, their different walk with God, and their different relationship with their spouse, and just different things that have changed because I was surrounded by different people that made me better. So it didn't just make me better in my business, but it made me better as a whole woman, and whether it was me becoming a better wife or a better mom, a better businesswoman, a better daughter, anything. It was just about me surrounding myself with different people that can help me grow, because we've all heard the saying, if you're the best one in the room, then you need to get into another room, right? Because you can't grow there. And so getting involved with this, when I got started in the company, I was already married, I was pregnant, and I remember, getting started because I just wanted to offset some costs that were associated with me having a baby. But I went to a big event and heard a gentleman say from the stage, until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change, then you will never change. And I want to talk about that because, a lot of times people, like us, we start to um, start really thinking about our situation. And hopefully you guys can still see me because I see something happening with the screen right now. But, a lot of times we start really thinking about our situations and knowing that things could be different. And we're just not, I guess, tired enough yet, or it doesn't hurt enough yet. I know you guys have probably heard the story about the dog laying on a nail, right? Like everybody knows about the story about the dog laying on a nail. Like it just didn't hurt that much. It didn't hurt bad enough for any changes to happen. And so that was my life. When I heard that, I started thinking about um, you know, all the reasons why I needed to get divorced. And the one reason that was holding me back was simply because I knew God didn't honor it. But I also believe that God didn't want me unhappy for the rest of my life. And so I made a huge decision to do that just because I wanted to still have a cordial relationship because of our daughter. And, I believe that it was a blessing for all of us. It was a blessing for all of us in long term, I guess. But had I not gone to that event, and whatever you do, whatever business you're in, whatever it is that you do, when we hear the same, when millionaires show up or millionaires invite you, to something, you show up. And so whatever it is, if somebody tells you that some event can absolutely change your life, you need to go, because you have no you don't know what you're going to see or what you're going to hear that's going to not just change one thing but change everything, because you only need to hear that one thing and be in that one moment, and that one moment and one thing can change your whole life. And that's exactly what happened to me. So I ended up getting divorced and kept building my business, but God gave me a second chance. And now I'm remarried. I have 4 kids. She said she has all these kids, right? I started laughing. I was on mute. But I have 4 kids now while still building a multi-million dollar business. And, I'm going to be talking a lot about this, especially as a woman, because there are a lot of different things that we go through, not just as women, but as an adult, just, our fears when we try to step out and do something different, to get something different, the things we have to overcome, just your personal feelings that you have to put to the side, especially if you have a family, especially if you have children, just the feeling of guilt that you may have when you're away building your business. And, I can tell you a lot of different stories as far as me being in tears, leaving my family to be able to build the business that I have today. And so I'm going to touch on a couple things. And number one, one of the best tips that I can give someone as far as doing anything in life is something that I've learned from the president of our company. And it's about keeping your priorities in order. Because a lot of times when, or during my journey, when I was building my business, we talk about grinding. And there was a lot of times where I was grinding without God in it and trying to do things on my own, where I wasn't having as much success as when I was grinding with God in it, if that makes sense. And so our president of our company, he always talks about keeping your priorities in order, and that should be God, family, and everything else. And a lot of times when you're racing to the top, because we all have goals, we all have different things we want to accomplish, a lot of times your priorities can be the everything else, meaning your business, before your family and before God. And a lot of times when we don't have our priorities in order, everything just tends to fall apart. You're not really getting the success that you're really grinding for. And so I had to kind of step back at times and really think about the times in my business when I was really truly putting God first and when I wasn't. I remember having a conversation, it's so crazy. And, as I talk about God, I don't want to offend anyone. However, I know that when you believe in something, you talk about it. And I believe in God. And this isn't to force my religion on anyone, but it's just very important, an important piece of who I am and where I am today, especially in my business, because I know I didn't do it myself. And, I remember having a personal conversation with one of my mentors because I was contemplating and debating about going to Bible study. And this will all tie in a minute. But I was talking to him about, man, I'm going to church on Sunday and I'm thinking about joining a dance ministry and I'm trying to go to Bible study, but how am I supposed to take away all these days away from like building my business? And, he's like, listen, it'll all work out. Like, everything will work out. And what I had to start thinking was, how am I trying to schedule my life, or schedule God into my life instead of scheduling my life around God? Like, God blessed me with the business anyway, right? So if he blessed me with the business anyway, what do you mean y'all can't take away days or time away from my building my business? Because I can just be creative and figure it out. I can just do meetings at different times when I'm not in Bible study, when I'm not in practice for dance ministry, when I'm not in church. So, whatever it is that's important to you, that is your number one priority, whether it's God or whoever your higher power is, then you have to build on that relationship and you have to truly put it first. Because I can remember times when my business was soaring and even my husband was feeling like, what are you doing? Like, what is it that you're doing different? And all I could say was I was putting God first. And so, when I think about the journey that I've gone through to get to where I am today, we all grind, we all, do whatever it takes. We all have a do whatever it takes type of mentality. And, there are times where you are going to sacrifice. There are going to be times where you have to choose to not spend time with your family so that you can help other people spend time with theirs. It's really about making the necessary choices for just a season in order for you to have a lifetime of the results that you were looking for anyway. A lot of times we just get caught up in the moment. We get caught up in the things that we don't really feel like doing every day, but you got to kind of put your personal feelings to the side and do it anyway. We always talk about just accept your feelings and just do it anyway. Feel the feeling and do it anyway. There's so many times I could tell you about, I wish I had more than 30 minutes, but I could tell you about so many different instances when I was in tears, leaving my family, walking through the airport in tears, catching a flight because I had to leave my family to go and help build somebody else's business. But in turn, it was my business anyway. And so, me developing into a leader in our industry, it was really about me making some choices that most people just aren't willing to make. And that's the only thing that really separates the people that you see that are at the top of something versus the people that aren't. We've just kind of made some different decisions that a lot of people just aren't willing to make. We've decided to do some things that people just aren't willing to do. I remember when I used to have to drive to New York twice a week to build my business. And, I had people telling me, man, like, I would never do that. Like, I would never leave my kids like that. I would never do this. I would never do that. And so it was no surprise that those same people never got close to where I am today. So you really have to just make a decision and decide, what are you willing to do? Because the thing about it is, you won't have to do it forever. Today, you know, the lifestyle that we have today, the results that we have today, because I took a season of my life, just a few years of my life to really work super, super hard so that now I don't have to. And I can really choose whatever I want to do. But let me make this clear, because I was listening to an audio not too long ago, and the gentleman was saying that successful people don't just get to do what they want to do. Okay, let me make that clear. successful people also do what they have to do. So it's not just about me wanting to be with my kids, me wanting to be with my husband, me wanting to travel, me wanting to do the things that everybody wants to do. It's really about me doing what I have to do so that I can have the option to do what I want to do, if that makes sense. So, it's a lot of different people on the call, a lot of different women, and, and I'll just kind of talk about our emotions as women. Naturally, we are nurturers. God has blessed us with the ability to birth children. And to me, if He's given us that ability to do that, He's given us the ability to do anything. So why don't we see more women at the top of a company or a top of an industry? I think it boils down to our belief level, or the feeling of guilt when we are leaving our kids, when our kids are pulling on us saying, why do you have to go? Why do you have to do this? I want you to stay home. Or you feeling guilty because you need to be home making dinner for your kids and you're out trying to build something. Or you're feeling guilty because you're not spending the necessary time with your husband. Well, here comes your priorities again. Family is supposed to be second. And so you have to be creative with your time. There's been plenty of times where I had to take a step back and look at what I was doing, because even though my husband is also in my business, and he's gone to the top of the company, he knows exactly what it takes. There are times where I still had to be his wife and not talk about our business. And sometimes I could be so excited about something and want to talk about it, and he just really didn't want to hear about it at that time because he just wanted to relax with his wife. So I had to just be creative and learn, as I was growing, learning when to do things or when to talk about things, because it's a huge responsibility to be a winner or to be a champion. And not everybody wants to take on that responsibility. It takes a lot of really being intentional about your time, about your decisions, about everything, so that you can win big and be a history maker, that I would call myself. It takes a lot of responsibility to do that. And a lot of times people just don't want that responsibility. A lot of times people don't want the responsibility of winning and helping others win, because it takes time away from the things that you'd rather be doing versus the things that you have to do for just a season. So, it's really about just making a decision. And I'm just going to kind of show you guys some stuff really quick. I had pulled up, Mr. Thomas had asked me to just kind of share some different pictures with you guys, because I wanted you guys to kind of see me and my life. Okay. So this is me. I feel like this is me all the time. Somebody took a picture of me this was right before I got promoted to the top of our company. And I feel like this is just showing so much excitement, not because I was doing it, but because I knew since I was doing it, I could now show other people how to do it. With 100% conviction, with 100% of my passion, with 100% of my truth, I could show someone how to do this and become as free as they wanted to be. And so I always feel like this, like I'm always so excited, because I know what, freedom tastes like. I know what it's like to be able to just have options in your life. And it just is so exciting to be a part of a women winning movement, as I call it, to really just share the vision of empowering, encouraging, and equipping more women to really have options in their life, so they don't have to choose between being great at this or great at that, but being great at everything. So it just brings so much excitement, for me, And so let's see what else we have here. Okay. If I can go to the next picture. Let's see. Oops, this is not what I wanted to do. All right, let me just kind of close this, and I'm just going to go to my I'm gonna go to my board really quick so you guys can see. Oh, let me show you this one. Okay, and I'll go back to screen sharing because you got to see this. You know, this is my husband. This is my husband who, you know, we do our business together, but kind of separately. And, you know, me getting to the top of our company, you know, we created history because we're the only couple in the entire world where two people in the same house have actually achieved the position that we have. So this is exciting. Okay. I don't know why it won't let me click to the next pictures. So I got to keep closing this out for some reason. All right, but let me see. I'll just do it like this. So this is a picture of my family. Okay, this is a picture of my family. And this was a really, really big deal for us because I felt like the first family, right? Like I felt like this was just a big, big deal. Let me see. Hopefully, can you guys see this? Can you see this? Maybe not. No, let me see. It says it's paused for some reason. Oh, here we go. All right. Now it's closed. I don't know what's happening, but here we go. Okay. All right, there we go. Now you can see. This is what I'm talking about. You guys can see this, right? All right, so this is my family, and this was very important for me because, you know, you see I have 2 boys, 2 girls, and it was very important for my sons to see that a woman could win just as big as their dad. Okay, a woman could win just as much, you know, as a man could. It was very important for both my sons and my daughters to see that because they needed to see possibilities. And, you know, us being on stage together, they could see that it was all possible. And if mommy could do it and daddy could do it, that meant that they could do it too. Okay, so that was that. And let's see. Hmm. Oh, let me show you this. And, you know, I can't really show you how I want to because it's not letting me go to different pictures. But, wait, that's not what I wanted to show. Okay. So this picture right here, and hopefully you guys can see this. This is me and my daughter making s'mores. Can you see that? All right, let me see. Okay, so there's a couple pictures I wanted to show because, and maybe this will pop up. Okay, great. So now they're just popping up. So this is my daughter, and what I had wanted to show was this experience that we had. I went to an outdoor education with her school, and you know, it was great. We got to spend like 2 days in like a cabin and, you know, learned about all this stuff or whatever. But the thing about it was that we got to have this experience, me staying with her for 2 days with her class and learning about all this stuff, but we got to have this experience without me having to ask for permission to be off. We got to have this experience without me worried about me not being at work for a couple of days, but I was still getting paid. You know, it's just some different experiences that you can have when you become free. And when you help other people see the possibilities of that, it's just a phenomenal feeling. You know, it's just so important for us, like myself and Miss, you know, Pranal, like it is so important for us to just show other people how the quality of your life can be so much different if you just have time freedom and financial independence together. And so there's a lot of different things that I could show you, but you know, I'll just kind of end it with this one if it lets me. Okay, let's see if it'll let me go to my screen really quick, because this is very important for me to show you guys if it lets me. And let me see really quick if it'll let me do it. And I'll end it with the one that I want to show you, which is this one. Hold up, this one. Well, didn't let me do it again. Wait a minute. See, it's trying to stop me from showing you this, okay? But I'm not going to let it stop me from showing you this. This right here is very important, okay? It's very important because, and I'll just kind of move this. This is very important because this is what we believe. The future is female. And it's going to take all of us taking on the responsibility to just show more women the possibilities. And I know a lot of people want to know about balance. There is none, okay? There is just keeping your priorities in order. You know, it's just keeping your priorities in order and, you know, just going for it. And doing the things that you may not feel like doing, but doing it anyway. Accepting your feelings and just keeping it moving and understanding it's only for a season, not for a lifetime. And so, you know, I don't want to take a whole lot of your time. I know that some of you wanted to have some questions and, you know, answers, but let me tell you this. You guys can inbox me anytime. You know, you can reach out to me anytime. You know, this, you know, I have even, you know, and this is like a little plug. We started a Women Winning Wednesday call. It is for people all over the world, right? To just empower more people, because men get on too, but it's really to empower people to just think bigger, to go bigger, because that's what we're here for. We're not here to be average. We're not here to be mediocre. This is really about us winning big in whatever you do so that you can show somebody else how to do the exact same thing. People are always watching, so you got to give them something to see. And you always have to keep your priorities in order. So there is no balance. You just have to figure it out. You just have to be creative. And yeah, you know, we're having fun while doing this. We're having fun while changing people's lives. And if one person got one thing out of anything I was saying tonight, then I know the call was worth it, you know, and that's what I prayed for. I didn't know what I should talk about. You know, I know you guys have had some phenomenal calls all month long, every single Friday. And for you guys to take the time to be on the call tonight, like, this is just amazing. So I'm going to turn the call over to you, and we can do whatever it is that you want. You know, I don't have a time or anything that I have to go, but I know you guys do. But I am open to doing whatever you want to do.
Okay, what we can do is, I know Mr. Al Thomas is on, so if Mr. Thomas, if you want to jump in and say anything, but I know that some people do have one or two questions, if that's okay with you.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you have anything to say, Mr.
You know,
Thomas?
first of all, I thank God for Miss Chanelle, Burt, and all you on the call tonight. When I planned this, I didn't know my plan was going to be here again. That's why we're a team. Was going to be late. Actually, I got in perfect time, and I was at a place. So I wanted to just say thank you, Miss Chanelle, Burt. I mean, we've shared different parts of the world on trips with ACN, our company, and doing different things. And I remember she was pregnant out there doing the business, her business, by being pregnant. And I know, I'm saying, wow, look at this true champion of a woman. She's not only displaying what it means going through all that, birthing a child a few months down the road, but still building her business. I have nothing but a great deal of admiration and respect. And I felt so bad. We were in Africa a couple of years ago, and she couldn't make it. And I said, you know what? I got to buy my brother and sister something just to let them know they were missed. It wasn't very much. It was just something to say, hey, I missed you being here. And I respect you because you have done and have touched so many lives, regardless of whose organization, and that's why she's so blessed and being a top female in the position she's in, because she's giving of herself unconditionally, and that's what people don't do. If it's not conditioned, they don't do it. But she's very unconditional. She is who she is on the screen, off the screen. Get to know her. She's just a great lady. So I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you, dear.
You're welcome. And yes, thank you for that gift, because for you guys that don't really know what he's talking about, I was just too pregnant to go to Africa. The one time that we could go to Africa for free, you know, my husband, it's just too much time freedom that we have. You know, I don't know. My husband, like, I've gone through 4 pregnancies during the journey of our company, and you know, that was just the worst timing. But we have a blessing at home. You know, he's now 2 years old, and he's going to the bathroom. Like, this is like the best thing. Like, he started by himself, and it's just so funny. It's so crazy the things we get excited about as parents. But listen, he's the last little baby, so this is just exciting. It's exciting. So
Before we ask,
thank you so much for having me on tonight, because listen, guys, he could have had anybody on here. You know, Mr. Al Thomas is a living legend, you know, and he, you know, when he asked me to do this, he just scheduled it, and my schedule's been clear for him. Any and everything that I can do to help with his vision, as far as, you know, making people all over the world better. You know, that's what this is all about. And so anything that I can do because of our relationship, and like he said, you know, we've done so much together and grown together, you know, I'm just honored to be on here with you guys.
we're gonna have a couple questions, and before we do the questions, I want to iterate one other thing you said. The trip wasn't free. Actually, there was a price to pay, and you
Oh, yeah.
paid that price, like you've done in so many other things. It's just being pregnant. You couldn't go with us on that one.
Right.
So I missed you, to bring a little token back to let you know how much I missed you, because you are just a spark of a ray of sunshine and a blessing to so many people. So thank you. And back to you, Ms. Pearl Bernal. And then we get done. We're going to have an announcement about next Friday after you ask Ms. Chanelle Burt some questions.
Okay, I think we have a question here already on the chat, but I think it comes from Miss Natasha from Fresno. You can go ahead and unmute yourself and then just ask the question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so thank you so much, Miss Bernal. Thank you so much, Mrs. Chanelle Burt. You have been one of our idols. We're here live in Fresno, and you know, Mr. Al Thomas just left us, and he's always giving examples of your husband and yourself to all of us here. And the part where you talked about you just have to be the wife sometimes, and the part about there is no such thing as balance. So for the couples that are maybe struggling to that are working together, they're business owners, they're always busy, and you know, there's a lot going on. So what are some of your tips personally that they can use to maybe kind of turn that Mr. and Mrs. on and off when it's time?
Man, I wish my husband was sitting in here with me. We could give you all kinds of tips, but you know, so my husband and I, we have a lot of help, and we don't mind asking for it. Okay, so that's number one. We have a lot of support. His parents, like, we moved his parents with us, I think over 6 years ago. We like retired them. They live with us, so we have in-home childcare that we don't have to worry about. You know, my parents don't live far, and we pay for a nanny, you know, so my mother-in-law can just be granny and not the nanny. So we always, you know, every day, especially at night, no matter how tired, and some of you, especially women, I know we can be so tired, right? And my husband, he likes to stay up and watch TV, and I just want to go to bed. Now I'm not going to get into like everything every night, but just the TV time for him is very important, for us to just me to be on the couch watching TV with him, no matter how tired I am. We always do date nights too, okay? But we also can do dates during the day. So we just started just doing things where it's just us and not us and the kids, because that is very important. You know, sometimes, when I need him to be Mr. Burt, as far as business, I'll say, listen, I need to counsel with you. I need you to be Mr. Burt right now, not Aaron. But there's also times when I say, I don't want to talk to Mr. Burt right now. I need you to just be Aaron and listen to me as my husband. So sometimes we just have to tell them. A lot of times we as women can think that they know what's on our mind and what we need. I just tell them, because we don't have time to be figuring stuff out and all of that. I just tell him when I need him to be who, so that we can turn it on, turn off. And he does the same thing to me. But we always make time for each other. So like, one of our mentors, they had talked to us about taking a vacation every quarter. So we try to do that. And it doesn't have to be some big time vacation. We may just go stay at a hotel somewhere, so that we're just away from everything, away from the family. So we just kind of do stuff all the time together. And, we're we're best friends. Both of us say the same thing. So we like to hang out together. We like to do everything together. And yeah, that's what I can really say. Like, just make sure you have some time together outside of everybody and everything else, because you need it. It is very, very important.
Thank you so much. And I had one more question. So I've had a lot of people even ask me what your morning routine is, if you have any, and what are some tips you can give everyone to kind of implement morning routine.
I don't have a routine, unfortunately. Some days, I wake up, well, every day I wake up, before I even get out of the bed, I say, thank you, God. So I'll say that's my routine. Okay. Before I do anything else, I say that. Because a lot of times, how many of you just think, and I can't see everybody on here, how many times do you roll over and you just look at your phone? How many times do you just look at your phone, check your text messages, check Facebook, check Instagram? Like, I have to say thank you first. And I just started implementing this not too long ago. So I don't want you to think because I don't want to come across like I'm this perfect Christian. Being a Christian means I'm not, right? So how many of us have any time done it? Like, my husband's walking in here and, oh, Aaron, somebody asked how do we turn it on and off from being just, business and just husband and wife? And I say, you like for me to watch TV with you at night on the couch?
He can go ahead and join us. He can join us.
Just come around here really quick. So sometimes I go to the gym. A lot of times I don't. But we have to get our kids ready every single morning. So, we're a family. Like, we have a family, so that we can. So here's what we do. We get up, we go downstairs. I make the lunch for the kids. I make breakfast for the kids, and he walks the kids to the bus, and he comes back, and we start our day. So that's the only real routine we have, because it's just really based on our schedule. Our schedule's kind of different all the time. Some days we're not even in town together. It's no real routine. It's just, we just kind of live. I know some successful people have certain things they do, and they have a particular schedule. I can't have that with 4 kids and a husband. I just can't. So I just kind of go with the flow. And, but that's how I start my day. I had to stop starting my day just jumping on my phone, though, if that helps.
That does. Thank you so much.
I also, I always try to read every single day. I read the word, I read, something from a book. I'm a big listener, though. I like going on for personal development, because a lot of people want to know. They always tend to ask, what do you listen to? What are you reading? I listen to a lot of stuff on YouTube. I read, but I listen more because I'm in my car more, right? So I listen to a lot of stuff. I just go on YouTube and I typically type in leadership motivation, and it's so many different things on there to really get your mind right for the rest of the day.
Thank you. And who's your favorite speaker on YouTube so far?
So the I don't really have a favorite, because when I listen to the when I type in leadership motivation, there's like different things that's a compilate, like it's a combination of so many different people. So it's like so many different people talking. But you know, there's this guy. So if you know about Amway, I like listening to this guy named Dexter Yeager. Okay. He is phenomenal. Like there's some different leaders in network marketing per se. I always try to listen to people that are in my industry too, because they've done what I'm trying to do. So, you know, I don't want to just listen to motivational people. I like to listen to people that also have done. Look at, see, my husband's putting my daughter in the thing with this chain on. I don't know what this chain is that she has on. So they're always trying to be in my space, as you guys can see. But that's the family that we have, you know, where, see, now he's shouting people out that he sees on here. He can't help himself.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I don't really have.
So I am the person that is going to do this today.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right, so that's Megan. He told her good job. He probably sent her in here to get me off the phone. See, he just, listen, he just, oh, let me show you this really quick as we're talking, because I did pull up this other picture, one of my favorite pictures, since I'm still on here with you guys. Let me show you. I got to get off of here. This screen sharing thing is just not going how I wanted it to. But where is it? If I can find it. Oh, here we go. This is one of my favorite pictures, because doesn't he look like he just adores me right there? Oh, where'd it go? See, it's not, it's trying to not let me show you. There it is. He just adores me. We're on stage and look at how he's looking at me. Oh, he just loves me so much, you know. But I love that picture because he's so supportive, you know, until he doesn't want me doing anything. But most of the times he's so supportive and he just loves me to death. And that's a blessing in itself. Yes, he's so proud. He's very proud. I love when he's so proud. Yeah, but that's one of my favorite pictures because of how he's looking at me. He's very proud, and that means more to me than anything. You know, anybody can, you know, they say, you know, you're so inspiring, you're so this, you're so that. But truth of the matter is, anytime we speak, this is what we do. Anytime we speak on stage, when we get off, when we are together by ourselves, we're like, so you know, you got to tell me what I said, what you like most, right? Like we go through a whole list, and he's like, I hope you took notes because you're gonna tell me everything. And I say the same thing. I'm like, don't worry, don't forget you're gonna tell me what you like most about what I said today. So we're always doing that. So yeah, we do that all the time.
That is so cute. I know we have another gentleman it's from an actual gentleman that wants to ask you a question. Mr. Lance Wittenberg, are you there?
I am. Well, thank you so much, Mrs. Chanelle Burt, for being on. I had a quick question because I've been following you guys for a few years and I love the lifestyle that you and your husband have. But let me ask you this question. By making the sacrifices that you've made in your business, which is non-traditional, what other goals outside of business have you been able to reach that you would not have been able to reach rather you had stayed with your traditional job, so to speak, or career?
So
I know you pledged recently.
One of the goals that the big goals that we have that we haven't achieved yet that I know we couldn't do with the traditional job, because I've done a lot of stuff that you can do with the traditional job. It's just that you would have to ask for permission to be off in order to do it. Or you would have to, you know, make that phone call, and I don't have to. You know, you would have to think about missing out on pay because you're out of work. So I've done a lot of stuff that you can do with the traditional job. It's just that I didn't have those worries or those concerns while doing it. But there's one in particular that we haven't done yet that I know we can't do with the job, and my husband wants to own a sports team. So we're working on doing that.
Amazing.
Yeah. So a lot of times, you know, we show lifestyle, you know, we talk about, you know, spending time with our kid at school and, you know, field trips, stuff like that. Like, we're always showing family stuff because that's just who we are. And, you know, a lot of people may feel like, well, I can do that too. Yeah, but you can do it, but you got to ask, can you do it? And I don't have to.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
How much
Thank you.
more, you know, like, it's like, how much more freeing is that? You know, as adults, one of our mentors, you know, he says, like, when you're like, you were more free as a child than you are as an adult. Isn't that crazy?
Yes. Yes. Asking permission to go to the restroom.
I mean, that's just what it is. And that's fine. You know, a job is fine. If somebody wants to do that, that is perfectly fine. It's just, for me, I didn't want that. You know, I just wanted to own my life. And most time when you work for somebody else, the job owns your life. Your lifestyle is typically based on what you don't have. You know, you live where you live, you drive what you drive, you go vacation where you vacation because of the money you don't have. You understand what I'm
Understood.
saying?
Understood. Yes.
So when you have financial independence and time freedom, you just have different options. That's all. That's why we're in this industry, right? Just to have different options that most people just can't have working for somebody else. That's all.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it.
No
Now, I have
problem.
another question from, I believe someone raised their hand, Latif. Can you hear us? Well, while he gets on, you just have to unmute yourself if you get on. I have a question for you. What are the challenges have you faced coaching or even mentoring men? And how have you overcome those challenges?
You
Because I know
know,
it's kind of different.
surprisingly, just about all of my top producers in my business are men. I don't have, so my goal is to have a minimum of one female regional vice president in each leg of my business over the next 2 years. Because in order for me to get promoted, just a lot of the leaders in my business are men. But I think I have an advantage working with my husband, Aaron Burt, because I feel like I'm just not the typical female leader in the business. You know, like, I just, and I just like, I've been raised by men in the business. You know, my posture is a little different. My language is different. You know, I'm not a big, like, take excuse type of person. I mean, you're talking to somebody that builds their business 8.5 months pregnant. Like, you know, I'm not a big person to take excuses, and I didn't have the time to give excuses, and I didn't have the time to show my emotions this whole time I've really been in the business because of my husband. So I've been able to work with men really well because I guess they have believed that I can lead them to where they want to go, simply because of my posture and my confidence and how I talk to them in a way where, you know, I don't want to say relatable, but listen, if you follow me, I'm gonna lead you to where you want to go. Point blank, period. And that's a man or a woman. And I think everybody can feel that. So, you know, I really haven't had that. Some women feel, you know, some women ask me, how do you deal with men that, you know, want to take it more than a business? And surprisingly, again, I haven't had to deal with that. I remember one time years and years ago where some guy actually told me he wasn't going to join the business because he knew he would be joining because of me, but I was engaged at the time. And so, you know, he flat out told me, and that was that. But I have not had to deal with that either. And I don't, and you know, and I tell women, you know, it's not, I'm not saying it's our fault, but I do ask women, like, what are you really giving off for people to feel comfortable thinking that they can take it somewhere else? Because I haven't dealt with that. So I really haven't had any challenges working with men. You know, in the beginning when Aaron was, you know, working in my business a lot, especially with men, you know, they would want him to come and help them, but then he stopped showing up and I had to tell him he's not coming. It's me. So what we gonna do? You know, so you know, and I guess it was a little of proving myself too. And I guess I've just done that.
Now, really quick, you were just touching bases on this right now. Now, for someone that is they have a job, a regular job, but they have a spouse at home that wants to be able to pursue some sort of a business, what would you recommend someone that is in a traditional business job to try to, what can that woman do to be able to empower her husband or her significant other, to be able to empower him so then she can shine? Because I know that when the man already finds their own purpose, then we can bring the best of us so we can help them get there, right? So what would you recommend someone that is in the between that? Because you at one point had to go through that, right? From job to a business.
I would say bring home a check. I think checks change everything. You know, my husband did a training one time that, you know, production or results will make your whereabouts okay. So there's never a problem with my husband letting me shine per se, because I'm getting results, right? So, you know, I used to work. I was working full-time and part-time and going to school when I got involved with this business. And, you know, I just had to fit it in. And when I started dating Aaron, I was working full-time and working part-time on my business, but I was working part-time on my business getting full-time results. And so in 18 months of me building my business part-time, I started making more money than I was making full-time as an engineer. So, you know, I guess knowing how passionate I was, and a lot of times too, your spouse needs to see that you're really serious and it's not just something you're doing because you're taking time away from them by doing this, right? Like you're taking time away from you guys being out doing something in addition to just your job. So you have to be getting results for them to be okay with you being out all the time doing it. You know what I mean? So that's why I said bring a check home, because the check is the results. You know, the production, all of that is the results. And so it won't be as hard for them to let you shine because they see you're serious. They see you're passionate about it. They see that you're starting to win. So why stop you from winning? You know, like it would be crazy if, you know, and I don't understand, you know, some spouses, they don't want the other one. I don't know. Like, I don't see why my husband would tell me to stop doing what can only enhance our family's future, you know? Like, but, you know, you got to prove yourself. Sometimes you just got to prove yourself in order for the spouse to really take you serious. And they don't have to even get involved, you know, as long as they're supportive. I tell some spouses that too. Like, if you don't want to do this, that's fine. We just need your support. I just need you to be supportive. That's it. But when they see you getting results and stuff, then it's okay, you know? And my husband's a man's man, if that makes sense. Like, he's not worried about me outshining him. You know what I mean? Like, we have different roles and I'm shining over here, you shine over here, but then we shine together, you know? So, yeah.
I'm pretty sure you're already tired and you've already went an hour. I'm not quite sure. Latif, were you on? Were you unmuted before
Yes.
we? Okay.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, Miss Chanelle. How are you doing? My name is
I'm
Latif.
good. How are you?
I met you before. Me and Burt, we connect very well. I did have two questions for you. I think you answered one of them, but I'm gonna ask you again. Coming from a female perspective, how is it that you go by, and obviously from a man's standpoint, recruiting other women that have a high influence like yourself? Because I know a lot of successful CEOs here in Tennessee, but most females take it the wrong way with the type of approach. And then there's different approaches, but what are some of the approaches that you could recommend me?
So you want to recruit the women,
Yeah,
but you don't want to give off the wrong thing?
correct.
Do you have a girlfriend?
I do.
Okay, so the reason why I asked that is because, like, you could probably say, man, you remind me a lot of my girlfriend who's helping lead the expansion of this multi-million-dollar company. I want you to, I would love to invite you to an event where we're going to be so that you can see the type of people that she's working with. Like, you can kind of relate it to her so that you can kind of eliminate that altogether. You see what I'm saying? Or you can always say to man, that's a sharp suit. Or like if you're trying to compliment somebody, you can simply say, man, I would love to tell my girlfriend where you shop at, blah blah blah. Like she's helping lead the expansion of this multi-million-dollar company. I know she would love, to wear something like that. Like you can just throw that into the conversation so you can just avoid it altogether. But the question is, do you want to do that? And hopefully you say yes. Okay.
Of course, absolutely. Thank you so much. Question number two. I don't know if this will take, in a business sense, but if you had to lose, if you lost everything in ACN and you had to start all over, how long would it take you to become a senior vice president? And could you do it without Aaron Burt?
Could I do it without? Let's talk about the doing it without Aaron Burt part first. Aaron Burt, as far as me doing it, he's just been my mentor. He didn't give me anything. Okay. So when I had my promotion, you heard me say he referred me to one customer the last week of me wrapping up my SVP promotion. That was 100% true. Okay. So I could definitely do it without him, because a lot of the leaders now, I'm going to say this as far as my business wise, because my husband, I wouldn't he's my husband. So, but business wise, Aaron hasn't given me anything to build it in the first place. I'll say that. Okay. So I definitely could do it without him because I know how to build. I'm a builder. So I know how to get reps. I know how to get customers. And I think it would take me half the time. One, because I'm never getting pregnant ever again. Okay. Two, because I know what I know now. So I could do it faster. I'm a different type of person. I'm not growing through the struggle of trying to learn or figure out what system I need to do. I know what I know today. So I think I could do it in probably less than half the time because I would just go through the numbers faster. I would just, do what I knew I needed to do and not procrastinate. I would eliminate that because I know what we have our hands on, because I know the results from it. I would go for it way faster than I did. Okay. But
Gotcha.
It's just once you know what you know, of course you can do it faster, right? So yeah, I would definitely do it less than half the time, and I could definitely do it without Aaron Burt. I wouldn't want to do it without him per se, but you see what I'm saying.
I got you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I want to jump in here real quick and say, if you'd have listened to her promotion, you'd have known that. Let me tell you guys something. This lady has done it herself. Aaron is a friend of mine. He's not giving her an IBO. He has not did it because his wife. He did none of that. She listened to this. That's why I have so much respect for her, and that's why I'm doing this call with her only tonight. She did it all by herself.
You see this? You see this? This because of me.
So just to say that she did it all. Maybe he gave her a customer. He did not give her an IBO. He did not stack. He gave it. No.
He didn't even put it in the business. He just
Thank
referred
you.
me, told me to call her.
Thank you. That's how bad she is. So if you'd have heard her promotion, really heard it, you'd have heard that he said one customer he referred me. She built it all herself, all the presentation, every single person. And that's why tonight we're wrapping this up with a lady who's hit SVP on her own next to her husband. Not, next to her husband, with respect to my buddy Aaron.
Yeah, he'll tell you. There were times when I would say, like, why don't you give me anybody? Like, why wouldn't you put something on my team? Like, I'm your wife. We can double dip. Like, we would get paid twice. Like, doesn't that make sense? But he's like, for what? Like, why would I do that? You're good. You got this. And so that's why I said he's made me tough in the business. He's just never given me anything. And, I wouldn't be who I am today if he did. So it would be totally different.
Ladies, you're tough. You heard it from one of the toughest ladies. I mean, tough lady. So
We can do this.
That's
We
right.
can do it. Yep.
Every lady on this call and gentleman that's listening, you, and all of you can do it. So I want to wrap this call up. We took enough of Mr. Aaron Burt's time away with his lovely wife, Senior Vice President, Ms. Chanelle Burt, respectively the top of the company she represents. And we want to thank her for her time tonight. As you can see, he's trying to get in here and mess it up, but mess with us. But I want to thank her. And I want every one of you to walk away with, wow, you get a chance to see her up close and personal. She peeled back the onion of who she is, her past, and what she's done to get her where she's today. And I have nothing but tremendous respect for her because she stood on her own 2 feet, built it from brick by brick, day by day, night by night. So with that, is there a word or two in closing? And Ms. Pearl, you can wrap it up to take us home. I think next Friday, starting November, men and ladies, we're doing an international call every Friday from somebody in a different country getting into our time zone just to help you understand how to build something local and take it global. So with that, Ms. Bernal, you can wrap it up if Ms. Chanelle Burt has a word in closing.
Okay.
I just want to say, everybody, you're welcome. I see all the messages on the chat thing. You are so, so welcome. And I am so honored to be on this call with each and every one of you. And just like I said, you can reach out to me anytime. We're all in this together. We're here to change lives one person at a time. And if I can do anything to help, just let me know.
Ms. Perlick, take it out, close us up.
Thank you so much. We really, really do appreciate your time, your wisdom, and guys and ladies and gentlemen, whoever's watching this, and whenever someone shares this with you, because we'll have it within like 5 seconds. This is not a call to be able to try to get somebody into a business or anything. We just basically want to empower just anybody, any female or anybody, doesn't matter what age, where you come from. But the fact that we wanted to make it a big point about this meeting is that anyone can do it, and she's done it in her business, and she's done it by herself. So we want to empower every woman out here, but now it's the gentleman's turn, so we want to make sure that you guys get a little bit of that as well. But it's just to be spiritual and leadership. So, and in closing, I wanted to see if you can give us just a small words or just a few words, Mrs. Chanelle Burt. Where do you think all of us, every person that's on this call, because it's Friday night, they can be anywhere, but people are still on and asking and sending me all these, Perla, please, one more question. What can you tell everyone that's here today, that they took their time, that we respectfully respect it, what they need to do to get for 2020? Get prepared now in October. I mean, we're a couple of days to finish and wrapping up October. And this whole thing that we did this whole month is to get us all equipped and empowered and encouraged for 2020. What would be the best advice you can give all of us that took their time for tonight? And we want to thank you so much for doing it.
Oh, no problem. And thank you again for hosting, okay, and having me on tonight. The one major thing that I can tell everybody to start now is don't just keep your notes in your notebook, but apply. So many times we have these calls, we have training after training after training, but what are you doing to really change your business or to change your life? 2020 starts now, and everything can be completely different if you just take action instead of just listening and recording and writing down notes. There's so many times, every time I go to a big event, I see people with all these recorders and writing and taking pictures of slides and all this stuff, but what are they doing when they get home? So the question is going to be, what are you going to change tonight, or what are you going to start doing after tonight to make your tomorrow different from today? Okay? Because every single day you can do something different to progress toward your goals. You got listen, if you're me, you've already started working on your 2020 goals. You're not waiting till January 1st. This is why they started doing this all month long. This is not about getting prepared. This is about starting to do something now, taking action now. This is not for you to just be compiling all your notes so you can be getting ready for January 1st. This is about you taking action today, okay? So tomorrow, everything can be different from today, but you have to implement some different things that you really want to do. So when you talk about a morning routine, if you feel like you need to change some things about your routine, change it. You don't have to do what I do, but you need to do something different than what you're doing, because you got to do something to get different results. So you need to take some self-inventory or self-reflection tonight, and you need to say, okay, I need to stop doing X, Y, and Z and just change it. You can change anything about yourself at any time. Anytime. One of my struggles, and I'll just tell you, one of my struggles is eating bread. Okay. And it seems like every week I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop eating bread. Like, I have got to stop eating this bread. So I just told Aaron today, sent him a text. I said, man, Whole Foods has some bomb cornbread, but this is gonna be my last day eating bread again. I'm starting over. He said, well, what if we go out to dinner tomorrow? I'm like, okay, I'll stop Sunday. Like, it is so crazy how you can change anything you want, but you're choosing not to. So my tip for you is to start implementing some changes right now. Don't wait until January 1st. Just start doing it right now. Just start doing it. You already know what to do. For those of you, especially that are in our business, you already know what to do. You don't need another call. You don't need to hear from nobody. You already know what to do. You just have to not just make the decision, because people think just making a decision will change everything. No, it's making a decision and taking action with the decision that you make. Okay, so that's all you need to do. Write down those goals, write them down so they'll be in your face. Keep your priorities in order as you grind, doing whatever you want to do to get to wherever you want to go. You can literally cut down the amount of time that it would probably take you, or what you think it would take you anyway, if you just eliminated some bad habits and just started changing. What's some bad habits? Number one, procrastination. Number two, just not believing in yourself enough. If one person can do it, then you can do it too. Okay? So just eliminate it. Get it out of your head. It's all in your head. That's it. So just start changing your mindset. Do whatever you need to do, and just start doing something now. You don't need to hear nothing else. You already know. So just start acting as if tomorrow's January 1st. Whatever you were going to wait to do, just start doing it tomorrow, so you can go into 2020 with a head start, a jump start on the goals that you're setting for yourself. That's it.
Now, Ms. Chanelle Burt, if people that are on this call and are guests, that someone somehow they send them over and they have a question to learn about your in particular business, is there an email or anything they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, they can just send me a personal message to my personal email. I'm perfectly okay with that. And it's just my first name, Chanelle 0715 You can WhatsApp me. You can inbox me on Facebook. You can inbox me on Instagram. You can do all of that. So that's perfectly fine.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Thomas, for allowing us to have this whole platform to empower as many people as we can. And in
Well,
closing,
thank you so much, Miss Burt. Thank you so much. I'll let you get back to your husband. It's Friday night,
I
probably date
know.
night. And we want to thank you. And everybody on the screen will see a upcoming November for our international call. We have it with international gentlemen in different countries that will be on our call every Friday in November to prepare you now, like she said, for 2020. Now, if you got to have 2020, you got to have the vision. And there on your screen right there, you can see these gentlemen from all around, from Japan, from Canada, from the United States, from Australia, and from the UK and Japan. So we're going to have that. Once again, everybody, thank you so much for a great night. We have the recording. Will be sent out in a few minutes to everybody that wants it. Take care. God bless. And Miss Burt, thank you so much for your time. And I'll let you get back to your family. God bless.
Thank
Good night.
you. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you so much.
Thank you.